Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today I'm going to be doing a video that I've wanted to do for a long time, but with everybody's requests, I've been trying to meet those requests, but today I really wanted to do this video for you all. This is something that my mom and I almost always just do it in Ramadan. It's just that we don't do it any other time. And these are super delicious. They're cheese and jalapeno samosas. Now, in this video, I'm also going to be teaching you how to do the wrappers, and I will guarantee you that if you follow the recipe of the wrappers, that I can guarantee that it's going to work out. I have another video of the wrappers, but I've had a couple people say that it's just not working out for them. So had my thinking cap on. I've been working with this recipe for a while now, and I've come up with a foolproof way to make samosa chapri or samosa wrappers, or even the wrappers to be used in egg rolls. So let's get started. I'm going to quickly tell you what the ingredients are. For the chapri or the wrappers, what we're going to need is just some oil. For we're going to be making some small puri size chapatis, and then we're going to be brushing that with olive oil. And then I have here just some white flour, all-purpose flour, that we're going to be sprinkling that on top. We're going to be adding some salt in there. And then for the water, I have right now 1.5 cups of water and 3 cups of white flour, which is the all-purpose flour. Now, we will see if we're going to need all the water in it or not. I will let you know as we go ahead with the recipe. For the filling, we're going to be using this Kraft cheese that I'm going to shred, and that works perfect when you shred the cheese. And then I also will be using these kind of peppers, jalapeno peppers, and I wanted to show you this especially because this is what brings that really good taste to it. You don't have to use this brand. Any jalapeno peppers that we use on pizzas, those will do. So I'm going to be taking about 3/4 to half a cup of those, chop them up, and we're going to be putting that inside. Now, if you want it very super spicy, add more. This is going to be medium, so you just have to kind of gauge, how spicy you want it. So let's get started. Nimak, lot, salt, and the flour mix. So you can see here that our dough is ready. Now this dough is not soft, but it's not super hard either. So I'm just gonna knead it for about 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna let this dough rest for about 20 minutes before we start rolling them out. And also to talk about the water, you can see here that it was just a little shy away from 1.5. So start putting don't put the whole thing in there, just start adding slowly the water until you have this kind of consistency of a dough. So just approximately you're gonna need about 1 1/3 cup of water. So that's just approximate. Then it's also gonna depend on what kind of flour that you're using, okay? You can look at our dough here, really nice, soft. Now we're gonna make some small bites out of them. So all I'm doing now is I'm just giving them a clean finish on the bottom, just rolling them and then bringing it up, pinching it, and then turning it over and just kind of doing this so it's got a nice finish. Okay, so now you can see here they're in groups of 6, so 6, 12, 18, and 24. Okay, just gonna sprinkle some dough on the bottom, and then we're gonna start rolling these just like you would do for instance like a puri. Okay, now what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead, roll all of these out just like this, and they should be around between 3.5 to 4 inch in diameter. Okay, so we're just gonna keep on sprinkling a little bit of flour and then going ahead and again rolling these, and they should be around the same size, as all of them should be around the same size that you're doing, so that when we layer them they stay really nice. So I'm going to show you in detail how we're going to do this. Okay, so we're going to doing them in a group of 5. So what we're going to do is take 1, 2, we're just going to brush it with oil, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now we're gonna sprinkle them with flour just like that. Now here is the trick. So we're gonna put the flour and the oil side on top of the flour and the oil side. See that? Now I'm gonna take oil again, we're gonna put it on here, sprinkle it with flour, take the flour and oil side, lay it on top of the flour and oil side. This is the trick that your wrappers are gonna come out, peel so easily. Okay, just like so. Then again we're gonna add a bit more oil on there, brush it. There you go, and then this is the last one, right? Okay, so we're gonna close that up. Now what you want to do is with your hands, you just kind of want to gently push it down, so that because we've got oil between each and every layers, what's going to happen is it's going to start shifting, it's going to start moving because it's slippery. So that is why you want to do it very, very, very gently. But also this is what's going to ensure that all the round circles are going to be on top of each other. Now if you see something like this, that's okay, but if it's like a bigger move, you can just peel it a little bit just like so and stretch it just a little bit just like so. So once you feel that you have a nice about 5 inches, you know, you're okay with, keep that aside and then continue with the other ones, and like that finish all of them. So you can see that I have started rolling them. You want to put flour, and then you want to start by rolling it, but don't put too much pressure on it the first couple minutes. Okay, and then also turn it around and do the bottom, and then once you kind of turn it a couple times and you see that it's not slipping, then you can just go ahead and roll it out. Now you can either do the round shape, or you can kind of try and see if you can get more of an oval shape, so it's got more like this one here. I'm going to show you it's more of an oval side, so I'm just going to cut the sides off and then cut it in the middle, that way we have less waste. But actually I have to tell you, I don't usually waste these. I fry up the sides, and my kids love them when we put them on either the Zanzibari mix, or they just put like some tamarind chutney on it, and they enjoy eating it just like that. So I always save the parts that I cut out. I never ever toss them in the garbage. So I'm just trying to get a nice oval shape here. Again, you can do the round traditional, that's completely fine. Okay, so at this point this is done. So now let's go ahead and start making these on the pan. The flame here, it's not low and it's not high. It's medium low. This is where you want it. So my pan is already hot because I had it on low while I was making these. So what I'm gonna do is just place one right on top. I'm gonna keep on turning them so they're evenly cooking on all sides and it's not hot. Okay, then just turn it around. Again, we're gonna do the same thing and see here that this has dried. And these don't need like cooking. This is just because they're gonna be fried anyways. All right, so now it's getting warm. And what's gonna happen is the steam, you see those bubbles? See those bubbles that are coming up? Okay, that means that we're almost done. We just don't wanna cook it very much. See that? Okay, that's it. We're gonna take it off the stove. Okay, and then you can either wait. Well, let's wait a couple of minutes. Let's do one more and then peel them together. Okay, so again, we put them on, keep turning them. And with your hand, you'll be able to feel the bubbles if you can. Let's turn it around. You don't want to cook this at all very much because it's going to get dry. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put a towel on this. You can see, I don't know if you can see those bubbles. That's a very good sign that actually it's steaming and cooking the other ones inside as well. I can feel the bubbles with my hands. There you go. See that? See that? Okay, that's it. We're not going to cook it anymore. Take that off. Put it on here. Let me finish making all of these. When we come back, I'm going to then start peeling it in front of you. Okay, so we're starting to peel this. No tricks. This is doing it right in front of you guys. Okay, so got the first one. Second one. And once you start doing these, make sure you cover them up because you don't want to have them dry up. Be a little gentle with them. Don't be too rough because they're very, very sensitive. And then what I will do is I'm going to tell you how many chapris I got out of it, but then you're also going to be cutting it. Depending on how much you cut, you're going to be, depending on how wide or thin you cut them and what you're doing with them, then the quantity is going to vary on how many you're going to get. Okay, so showed you here, so I'm just going to continue and start, just get all these peeled, and then I'll come back and I'll show you all of them. So I kind of went ahead, rearranged them, and then the ones that I had more round, I'm going to use for my egg rolls. So that then I'm just going to cut off the sides and make it into a square. Okay, and then the ones that I'm going to do for the samosa, I'm going to show you how we're going to, and I love these, just love frying these. So now for the ones that are oblong, I'm just going to go ahead and gently cut them right in the middle. Just like so, okay? Right? And then we're just going to come back and cut the sides off. Just trim them just a little bit. So a total of 24 wrappers we got. From that, it's going to be decided upon if you're going to make them this kind cut into for samosas, or the ones that we did here that are the square ones. So if you're just doing the samosa kind, then you're gonna get 50 out of the 3 cups. And look at how beautiful. None of them have torn. They're just absolutely beautiful. And at this time, you just want to keep everything really cheese. And then I'm going to be adding our jalapenos in it. Add the jalapenos. Add more. Go ahead and do so. I'm going to leave it as it is. Now we're ready to stuff our samosas with this mixture. So here you can see that I've just put about 1/4 of a cup of flour. I'm adding a little bit of water. I'm just going to mix it to make kind of a glue to close our samosas with. You just want to start adding your water slowly. Don't put a whole bunch in there. This is too thick, but I kind of like it when it's thick, and then I'm just going to beat it so there's going to be no lumps in there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water in there and then mix it. So now this is going to be our glue to close our samosas. So now let's go ahead and start. I'm going to show you how to wrap those samosas. So now we're ready to start closing our samosas. As you can see here that I have them in a towel here. I'm going to try and see the best way to show you how to do this, all right? So you want to take one corner and just go like this. And then pinch this like so and bring it over. And then you're gonna hold it, and when you look inside, there should be no hole inside in the bottom, okay? Then we're just gonna take the cheese and the jalapeno, and we're gonna start stuffing it into the cavity there. Now at this point, you know, if you wanna do any other filling, like the ground beef that is normally done, or you could also refer to my video on the vegetable filling that I will try and put on the left hand side of the screen. And my mom makes those and they are super delicious, and my kids absolutely loves them. So you see how I'm just turning, that, okay? Sorry about that, that was Aladdin. And then you just kind of want to go ahead and again seal it. So it's sealed really nice, and you're gonna have a really nice triangle, okay? So there you go. And these are just a little bit loose, and that's because I'm not putting that much filling in there. Now the other thing I also wanted to point out is that if you're making these cheese and these jalapeno samosas, what you want to do is you want to put them in the refrigerator or the freezer for a little while, because you want that cheese to get really nice and cold and a little hard. So when you fry them, it'll take a while for the cheese to start melting, okay? So you just want to stuff it in there, just like so. And then take your glue and just glue it just like that. Turn it. Okay, and you have this little flap here. I'm just gonna add a little bit more glue on there, and then we're gonna close it up. Just like that. Okay, see how simple that is? So now you guys are gonna be able to make samosas. So let me go ahead, finish assembling all these, and then when I start frying them, I'm going to show you how we're going to fry these. So we're going to start frying our samosas. The oil should not be very hot, and the reason for that is that if you put it in a very hot oil, it's going to show bubbles on top. So you want to put it in a little bit of a warm oil, and then have it heat up, okay? You can see now that you'll see bubbles are forming, which is perfect. You can see here that the samosas have started getting a little bit of color on them, and I'm just gently turning them around so that they can evenly get browned on both sides. So basically I'm going to give it another 2 minutes before I start taking them out, and they're going to be really nice and light brown. And this will also give you an idea of samosas that you've seen that have the bubbles on there. Is why you have the bubbles is because you're putting it in hot oil, and when you put the samosas in a little bit of a cool oil, you will get the texture of just like really beautiful samosas where they're not gonna have like all those bubbles on there. So our samosas are ready. I had to pull them out and leave them to cool just a little bit. Otherwise, it would have been really, really hot to give them a try. They're still really, really hot, but see how crispy they are? They're just beautiful. And I know this is not gonna be a good thing because they're pretty hot, but let's go. Huh? You can hear the crunch. Look at the filling inside. These are gonna be a hit at your house. Make the chapres, don't be discouraged. Take it slow. Do 4 if you want to in the row, or 5 or 6, whatever you want. But also, let me show you how beautiful finish these samosas are. You see how when I told you the frying technique, they have no bubbles on them. They look so beautiful, and this is thanks to my mom. She's taught me how to do this. She remember when I was young, she'd tell me to fry the samosas, and if they had bubbles on them, I'd get into so much trouble. But see how they're just absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. Make sure that you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell right over by the by the subscribe sign. I have a Facebook page. I'm available on Twitter, on Pinterest, and on Instagram. So I'll see you next time with another amazing recipe.